Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about my Twine endurance. In this particular video, I'm going to be talking about the 13 patch, right? So patch 13, new season and everything, right? And guess what? Epic made a major mistake with something, right? So this major mistake, what ends up happening is, suppose, let's say your home base east over here, we're going to have some husk spawning. And then we're going to be having some husk coming in normally, right? And if they get launched by a wall launcher, they'll get launched over here. Everything's normal, right? However, if the pathway is too long for them to come path back, right? Because they just got launched, they have to recalculate their pathing. They'll just end up despawning. And this is like such a weird phenomenon that's been occurring. And with some trial and error, you can figure out exactly which spots they despawn from, right? So this is one of the spots that they despawned from, right? Which was right over here. You just have to launch them over here. And they seem to despawn from over here. And they'll despawn after about 15 seconds, right? So how does this affect the build? Why does it really matter if the husks despawn or not? And what ends up happening when they despawn, right, they'll just spawn right back up, and then they'll go ahead and go back to their own pathing, right? So if you want to, you can just go ahead and keep some of the builds the same, right? And some of the builds should be okay, right? But some other builds may not be okay. However, there's another thing you can do to really make it interesting, right? So if we do launch the husk off this cliff over here as usual, right, we can add sand walls, right? So what ends up happening is that when the husks are being danced, right, so if there is a successful dance from a sand wall, they will prevent the despawn from happening, right? And you can actually chain launch, you can chain sand wall the husks, right? So you can chain dance them, and the only way you're going to chain dance them to prevent them from despawning is by using a sand wall with absolutely no reload and no increased duration. So it needs to have a 12-second reload timer with a stun timer of 2.5 seconds, right? And this is very, very critical, right? Because this would add up just up to enough where they won't despawn, right? If this stun timer is too long, the second time that the sound will activate, it will not dance the husk because there is a delay between dances, right? So you can do a little test, right? You can do a little test. Let me just go ahead and just craft a little bit, right? All right. So if you did a little test with the husk, right? And so I'm gonna put a double reload sound wall over here. Right, so this is a double reload sound wall over here, right? So if you have double reload on the sound wall, the reload is going to be approximately, let's see, 6.5 seconds, right? So you have 6.5 seconds, right? If we actually activate the sound wall twice, this would be 13 seconds, right? So 13 seconds would actually be just enough time where they will prevent them from despawning, right? So that's okay, because if the second hit is not going to be successful in dancing it because there's a delay, then the third one will do it, and this will be okay. However, when it comes to a single reload sound wall over here, right, so if we come to the single reload, it's going to be 8.5 multiplied by 2, get 17 seconds. It's too long, right? They'll just despawn after the 15 seconds. If we go to this one over here, the sound wall with the so if we go to the second one over here, right, sorry, the third one, it's going to be 12 seconds, and this will also just be enough where they won't despawn. So you might as well just use the 12-second one, because this will be just enough where they will prevent them from despawning. Just remember that you cannot have effect duration on the last perk again. Okay? Now I'm using healing and then rest durability, but to be honest, the durability is really high, and I prefer it that way just because it will never run out, right? Because they'll never run out and they'll just keep being stuck there. Excuse me. Alright, so that's why I have kind of like these row of sound walls over here. And keep in mind that this will not work in the previous patch, right? So this over here, you're thinking, hey, why didn't we just do this before? This will not work in the previous patch, because what ended up happening from a lot of the other patches is that when you launch husks over here on this wall and they're being boxed in like this, the husks would actually start beating on the wall, right? Because we're standing all the way over there, for example, right? So we're standing all the way over there, and the husk will start being on the wall. But because they got reset, right, for some reason, in this particular patch, they're not breaking on this anymore because they're they're just trying to recalculate how to come back here, and then just get stuck here and despawn. So yeah, this is something that's really interesting with this particular patch. Alright, so that's why I'm doing this little Homebase East like this, right? Now, you do not have to build this like this at all. Homebase East in the previous build will work 100%, right? This is just something I'm testing for my own purposes. I'll probably change back to my old build just because it's cheaper. Alright, now you can also, now I did have these over here, for example, right? With traps, right? Now you can keep them there as well, right? But just keep in mind, if you do remove them for whatever reason, like what I have, make sure that you connect this particular block off, right? So this is a block off I have, right? With half floors underneath. Make sure you connect this block off with this lobber shield, just as shown here, right? If you do not connect this block off to the lobber shield, the husk will break through the block off. And the reasons for that is, well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so the lobber shield is pretty much however to your liking. This has been working for me. Okay. The reason why I don't have a wall launcher over here, by the way, because if I launch them over here, right, so suppose I just launched them over here, they might get trapped under here, right, and there's no sand wall I can put over here, unfortunately, to make them stay down here. So that's why I don't have a wall launcher over there. Instead, I just have a wall light for a little bit extra crowd control as they come over here, right, with effect duration and double reload. Okay, so that is the home-based East. Okay, everything in this over here has been remaining the same, and everything here has also been remaining the same. So Homebase North, nothing has changed whatsoever because this is not a recycling build. Right? This is really particularly important for the recycling builds. Okay, so for the damage builds that have no recycling, then you don't need to worry about it. There might be even cases where these wall launchers, for example, or those wall launchers over there, they actually might be doing the glitch too, where they'll just launch the husk back over here, and then they'll start despawning, right? Even though their pathway is just right there. Alright, a really weird phenomenon. I don't know if they'll fix it, because this is a change that Epic has not really told us anything about. Now the ridge amplifier. The ridge amplifier is currently I'm still working on it because the previous build, the complex build, does not work anymore for some reason. So there's a few reasons. One of them is that it seems like these smashers, for whatever reason, when I have a ton of block off over here, I think I have block off over here too, right? Tons of block off at the front. They seem to want to go for it now. And I think it has to do with somehow one of the layers under here doesn't count as block off anymore. So it seems like one of the layers under here, which I'm guessing does not count as block off anymore, causing the smasher to proceed to be able to go through this area. Okay. So that is one thing I'm a bit concerned about with this particular patch. Another concern with this particular patch is that when you launch husks over here, right? So I had a recycling system over here, would launch them over, had some sort of elevated platform. So I think if we just, so you know, add like a floor launcher over here or something there. Yeah, and then I just like launch them over towards the south. But yeah, that doesn't work anymore because what ended up happening, if you launch husks all the way down here, they just get stuck and then they'll just despawn. So this particular prison build, right? So I had a prison build over here which worked fabulously. It was fabulous. It does not work anymore except for smashers. So this is another thing to keep in mind too. Smashers are not going to despawn, and same with all the other mist monsters. Alright, so yeah, keep that in mind that it's good to have a recycling system, but just have it for the smashers, right? Just have for the smashers and nothing else. So that's why I don't have wall launchers over here, because the wall lights are going to be just for the smashers. Okay, so that is one thing to keep in mind with this area over here, is that if you launch them down here, they will not be utilized in that prison area. They're just going to go ahead and despawn, right? However, because I know that they're going to despawn, I'm going to start putting those exact same sound walls over here, right? With the no reload, no effect duration sound walls, right? And just put them all over here, okay? And I'm going to be using my older build because of that change at the front over there, and also because I can also have a little bit more tiles, so I can do some front recycling over here before the smashers come over towards this area. Alright, but I'll explain that shortly, right? Just first keep in mind about just the idea over here first. Alright, so in this area we're going to try to launch the husks into an area which is going to have sound walls, right? And this is one of them over here, right? So that particular wall over there, we're going to launch them over here. If there is a little bit of velocity going south, then they can also land over here on this tile. Alright, and this would help quite a bit, and I think I might be able to remove one of these too. Maybe I might be able to remove one of these top walls. Well, I can try it next game and see what happens. Alright, but yeah, let's just keep in mind exactly what I'm doing over here. Okay, I might actually, no, I think I'll keep it like this. Yeah, I think this should launch them all the way over here. Alright, but I'll check next game to see. But if you want to be safe, you can just keep those walls over there. Okay. Now over here, I'm going to be using the old bridge build in 11.5, which I'm going to be using the floor launchers. This one's 3 times impact, and this is 4 times impact, right? So just launch them all the way out down here, right? And they're going to land somewhere along here, right? And then we're going to have sound walls along here, right? With those exact rolls, the 0 reload, and the no effect duration. Okay. Now another thing to keep in mind too is that because these two particular tiles, this tile and this tile, are the only tiles which we can recycle smashers on, it's really critical that we have a lot of the husks already being recycled at the beginning. So we don't have to worry so much about husks coming over here too much, right? Or very little husks coming over here, right? So yeah, that's pretty much my goal. So in order to do that, we need to do a lava bomb shift, right? I might actually post a video on the ridge, right? Well, I still need to post a video on the devil amplifier too, but the ridge I might post a new video on too because of how much this has changed, right? This has completely changed my build. I'm not using the old build anymore because of some something unforeseen, right? So one thing I'm going to show you about is the lava bomb shift, right? So the easy way to lava bomb shift, this half tile over here, right? And underneath, right, which I'm just going to activate lava bomb just to be safe, because I'm going to edit some floors. There we go. So underneath, we're going to have these tiles over here of half floors, right? So you can see there's 2 half floors over here. This is very similar to the previous design, right? 2 half floors over there. But however, this particular floor is going to be a full floor, right? So that's a full floor over here. All right. So over here, all right. So underneath that, it's going to be a full floor. So 2 half floors and a full floor over there. That floor does not need it to have anything, right? So that's empty, and this is also empty here too. Okay. Now we also gonna need floors over here. So as you can see, I have wooden floor spikes, and these ones have the what's it called? The reload ones, right? These are legacies, but you can use whatever ones you got. I'm using these because I'm fancy. All right. So we have those floors over here and these floors over here. So put down those 5 floors as you see, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you should be good on that lava bomb shift over there. Okay. In order to do this lava bomb shift, not only do you need those floors, but you're going to need this floor over here, right? So this floor is actually part of this lava bomb shift. If you don't have this floor, then this lava bomb will not land in here, right? Now, because it lands over in this 2x2, we can put a floor over here, right? And this is actually going to be part of my chain launching little thing. So I'll explain it. Front sound walls, I think I'm using double reloaders, right? These ones don't really need to have anything particularly important, right? Just have some walls here and there. Just make sure that it has something there so you can stun husks, right? In case there's like an assassin husk that comes. Alright, so these wall launchers over here, there's gonna have my 5 times durability single reload, right? So use those. And these wooden floor spikes I just explained. Now this floor launcher, now these are going to be some of the weird launchers that I'm going to be using from now on, right? And these particular weird launchers, I might add it in my new perk sheet, Right, so let me go ahead and see if I have it. I don't have a bunch crafted. Alright, so this particular floor launcher is going to be 3 times reload and 3 times durability. Sorry, 3 times impact, 3 times durability. There is no reload on this floor launcher, right? And the reason being is because, first off, this floor, I need to have a floor such that it has 3 times impact. When it's 3 times impact, it can successfully being launched in here, right? So that's important. I need it successfully being launched in down here, right? When I'm down here, and then this is a very long pathway which they need to take, and then I can go ahead and use my sound walls, right? Using my sound walls, right? Which they'll get stuck, and then they'll be stuck there forever and ever, not using my other traps, all right? Now, however, because this is the first trap to actually get them into that position, there might be cases where some despawn, but there's very few. When they do despawn and respawn, there's going to be very few husks, right? They might get launched back here and there at the front over here, but that's not too important. I might even remove some of these just because I can save a little bit of structures, but again, not too important. But when they finally reach over here, this is the first trap that's actually going to successfully launch them into a spot which they'll get stuck in. Right, so because of that, we need to have this high durability, but at the same time, we need to have it 3 times impact. So I don't really have much space for that, right? As a result, of that, I just have to make do with no reload speed, right? 3 times impact, 3 times durability, right? So we have 8-second reload. We have a bunch of durability. Okay, because again, this is the first trap to actually initiate that. After that, I'm also going to use this over here, right? So as you can see, this is a wall launcher. To chain launch this wall launcher to go over here. And this would, again, get them stuck in here, and then they'll be stuck forever. All right? But in order to actually get that, we need to have this a minimum of 2 times impact to get them over here. And then this one to 2 times impact to get them over here. All right? And the 2 times impact wall launcher I'm going to be using is actually going to have reload, right? I didn't have to make a different special one for that. So I think this is one of the ones on my sheet. And let me see. There it is. 2 times impact, 3 times durability, and single reload. To chain launch them from here to here and all the way down here. Okay. Now the next wall launcher is going to be the exact same wall launcher, right? 2 times impact, single reload, 3 times durability. Launch them in here, and this would successfully launch them down here into that same spot from that floor launcher, right? So this floor launcher and that chain wall launcher over here is going to share the same spot, which is rather convenient, actually. Very convenient. Now, another thing to note as well, in here, I think it might be, it might not be needed, but this is just for phasing that may happen. So I have a gas trap underneath this little box. All right. I think the block off here is similar to my video, but I'm not 100% certain how accurate it is, right? So you can just do whatever block off up here you feel like is most comfortable for you. But this is my block off over here, and it's similar to my video and similar to my other video. So yeah, you can just go ahead and copy this if you want to. I won't do like step by step how to do it, but you can just kind of get an idea exactly how to do it, and you got, yeah, okay. I had this over here removed, but I put it back because I did have a case where a flinger in my previous build was coming down over here, at least my previous build with this particular patch. In the previous patches, it never happened. Okay. So I think that's good. Let me go over to the Devil Amplifier. The Devil Amplifier went through some changes. I think last game, this amp took 2,000 damage, so not too much. It could be from here, but I think it might have been from up front here. Now this is one of the interesting builds I've been trying to do over here, right? I have a more expensive version, which is launching them a bit more west and then doing like some recycling and then come up here. But basically what the idea is that I'm going to try to get these husks launching all the way up over here, right? So once I launch them up here, they should be stuck over here forever, right? At least the regular husk. The assassin husk would do something else over there. So that's pretty much the idea over here. We get them launched all the way up here, and then we coup, right? We coup. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do over here. Now, the minimum requirement for this is these floor launchers, they have 4 times impact. So these these floor launchers must have 4 times impact, which as a result, you're going to have a single reload over here, right? Single reload, 4 times impact floor launchers all the way across. And these wall launchers are, to offset them, they're going to have 2 times reload, triple impact. And these are going to have 2 times impact, triple reload wall lights with the effect duration, right? So you get some crowd control at the beginning, at the start, so that we can start working, building up for the floor launchers and then getting up here. And once they're up here, and then we can just kind of chill, right? And that's pretty much the idea of this build over here. So rather interesting. You can pretty much use my other build, to be honest, if you would like, right? I think they both would still work. It's just that I've been testing certain things in this particular patch, right? So this is one of them. Okay, I think everything else should be relatively the same in terms of the Devil Amplifier. If there's changes here and there to the Lobber Shield, it probably doesn't make much of a difference. I think here may have experienced some changes, but not really much. I don't think it matters too much. I think that should be there. Now this over here, now this I removed the recycler for the flingers. I just made a block off, right? And I think I might check the durability on these, because these might not have much usage. So I'm going to check the durability on them later to see if I can start removing some of these things. Alright. Now this is the Devil West amplifier, right? So the Devil West over here, I still have to make a proper video for. But essentially, it is pretty much the build from a long ass time ago, like from months ago. It is the exact same build, pretty much no difference, right? One thing I would like to mention though, so if you can just like copy this block off over here, pretty much that's it, right? Now, but I need to go on the other side to show you the edited floor pieces. So you see edited floor pieces over here, and that's where we put edited floors, right? There's no flat floors, just use edited diamond floors, right? So you can see a pretty much a good picture of that over here, as you can see, right? And there's not many, not really that many. There's none in here, just to make sure. There's none in here, just those. Okay, now another thing to keep in mind is some of these edited floors are not that important in terms of the lava bomb shift, but in my opinion, they're going to be important for the propanes, right? Because these do affect the propanes, right? For particularly the wave 26, right? So wave 26 has a lot of propanes. We need to make sure that if for some reason, in the off chance that that particular amplifier design is not working, right? This amplifier design, just as a recap, it is 12 arches and 16 poles, right? 12 arches, 16 poles, right? And I did this kind of design before. I'm not a fan of it, but so far we don't really have much better choice when it comes to the Devil North, right? So with the Devil North, we don't really have much of a choice of what we can do if you want to build a design such that it will fully AFK. We don't really have much of a choice, either this or the Smasher Bridge, right? Now, another thing to note over here is because I've done a little bit of changes over here, right? You can see I have a bunch of wall lights instead of wall launchers, right? And this is just so that I don't have them constantly respawning, but I'm still adding extra delay. Alright, so these are 3 times impact and double reload effect duration wall lights all the way across, except for the last one, in case it's a right husk. And this particular wall launcher, instead of the double reload triple impact, I'm actually going to be using, which one is it called? 4 times impact. So 4 times impact single reload. And this extra impact, what it's going to do is launch the husk all the way over here, right? And then when they get over here, they're going to be stuck on the sound wall, which then they're going to be trapped over here, right? And this seems to not be broken from the spawn over here, right? But I should do more testing to ensure that it really doesn't get broken. But so far, it's been good. And for the rest of the floor launchers over here, they're just gonna get launched all the way over here, and they get trapped in here, right? At least hoping that should be the case, right? I'm pretty sure this should be just enough to get them over here without going over the wall. Okay. I think that should be it. I think I added a diamond piece over here with the wall spike, but I think that's about it for there. Now this, ooh, let me let me take a safe route over here. So this is where we're going to be extra careful about when it coming to the lava amplifier. So what I'm doing is kind of cheesy, and I need to test this more on how this cheesy method works. not really cheesy amp, but cheesy lava bomb shift. And what I mean by cheesy lava bomb shift is you can see the I just put all that over there, right? So you can see I have all that over there. Be like, huh, where's the lava bomb gonna land? And your guess is as good as mine. What ends up, at least my mentality of thinking about it is, because this lava amp design over here, let me just use a so because this lava design, if this pit design is in the northwest, is designed such that I'm assuming none of the smashers are actually going to make it over here in the block off, and this block off is perfect. So they'll never trigger the lava bomb. Because they'll never trigger the lava bomb, I can put anything I want in there theoretically. So this is what I'm testing. Put all that layering over there, and then see what happens, see if the lava bomb will ever activate. And so far it hasn't, which is good, right? Because this actually adds quite a bit of layering and saves me a little bit of structures, right? Which I'll show you. So yeah, I've been testing that. And in order to actually build it, what you have to do, right, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Well, yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do. So just dance over here, activate lava bomb over here, and then proceed to start building, right? Proceed to start building, build your crap, blah 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 blah, and then you can go ahead, wait for it to build up, wait for another lava bomb to activate somewhere, and then go back, right? So just keep going back and forth and building that, and that's pretty much how I built it over here. And I just don't go near it, right? I just don't go near it. Be like, all right, let's just keep it in its happy spot, right? But pretty much most of this should be the same as what I built previously. At least most of it should be the same. Alright. At least for the pit design, right? I actually had a damage design, but I had to change it back to the this design just because this patch hit and I'd be like, oh, well, crap. Something really important that I should mention is because I'm doing that over there, you can kind of see, hey, there is some tile savings that you see. Yeah, so the thick block off is not as thick anymore, right? As you can see. I'm still testing it, right, to ensure that it's working. But yeah, you can see this thick block off is not as thick, right? It's still the same design where I'm doing these things, right? A flat floor, pyramid, and then wall surrounding it. So it's still those exact designs, but just that I have less of them now, right? And there's only 7. There's only 7 of those thick designs, right? Starting from up here. Right? Yeah, it's not too shabby. And another thing I did do as well is that I actually was able to add another layer over here, right, using this slant, and add a layer over here using this slant, so the husk, at least particularly the smasher, can still path over here, right? So that's something I did. All right. Okay. So that is that over there. Just make sure you don't walk near this area, right? So I think the danger zone is right in target area and right in there. So I think those are the danger spots, right? Right, but because the smasher is coming up here, they shouldn't activate it. Okay. Yeah, and also over here is a danger spot. So this over here is a danger spot, even though I just walked in it. So yeah, this is also a very high danger spot because there's a lava bomb that can destroy all this. Alright, so don't go near these. But however, the smasher will go over here and be that, so that's okay. Alright. Okay, so that is pit over here. Now, I still don't have a dancing mini boss design on the pit, right? You see the pit doesn't have that dancing mini boss design. I need to think about something that I can still do that, right? So I'm not 100% certain yet, at least with this particular design pathing towards the south. So far, this is what I got over here. Right? Just spam lots of structures. I probably should spam more structures, if anything, right? But yeah, I should probably see to do that, right? Maybe over here, right? You know. Alright. So that is that for the pit. Everything else has been the same. So this layering over here has been the same. And the layering over, whoops. Let me jump up here. Jump. Layering over here, right? So this over here has been slightly more efficient, as you can see, where I did a row. So it's kind of like a row of stuff over there. row slants, right? So I connected them together, right? So that's what I do over here. So a little bit more efficient. Saves a little bit of structure. I think I removed the wall here. And I removed a wall here. A little bit of efficiency there. Still big lumber shields. Now this is the part where I'm starting to test out that particular glitch, right? And that particular glitch is that when you launch a husk into a position which it's too long for them to repath, then they start bugging out. And it seems like this is one of the positions over here, and this is one of the positions. Sometimes it doesn't work and then they just drop down, but it seems like it still works for some of the husks. I still have that there. So this particular wall launcher needs to have 2 times impact to launch over in here, and same with this one, needs to be 2 times impact to launch them in here. This floor launcher is going to have 4 times impact in order to launch them over here, right? So make sure you have 4 times impact. And these wall launchers have 3 times impact each with the tar pits. And the same floor launcher with the wall light. And this particular floor launcher, instead of launching them towards the south, I'm going to launch them towards the southwest, right? Kind of down here. Alright. At least hopefully that should be doing that. And then we're going to be pretty much the same design as before. We're going down here, but instead we're going to have a row of sand walls, and these sand walls again are going to get the husk stuck down there so they don't path all the way, or sorry, so that they don't despawn because they can't path back anymore, right? Because if you didn't have the sand walls, they'll just despawn and then just respawn, right? So that's why I did that. But we still need to have these floors over here for the assassin husks, right? And I think I used to have a design over here, but it seems like I had some troubles with some husks, some other husks. So I removed that. I just kept one, and then I put floors around here so they could still path around, and the mini boss should be able to still dance on the bridge. All right. Okay. Another thing I want to mention, which I totally forgot to mention in the ridge design. Let me go back to the ridge. Sorry for jumping back and forth. Oh, lobber shield's exactly the same, by the way, as my video. So yeah, there's that. So this lobber shield is pretty much the exact same from my new ridge video, so that hasn't changed. But what has changed is the amplifier design. This is something I've been testing. This design is not tested. Right before I had, like, I think I had more structures over here. Yeah, I had structures all the way around here, something like this. But yeah, anyway, basically what ended up happening is that from my previous design, there was a problem with smashers, and I didn't know why, and it had to do with this patch. I don't know the reasoning yet, but the smashers, what ended up happening is that when they come over here, they start charging these walls over here, and I couldn't figure out the reasoning behind it, right, other than the fact that it's the amplifier design. So I'm going to start testing out a new design, which can dance to mini boss and not make the smashers charge, right? So that's right now the only solution I got is to make a overbuilt design such that the smashers won't charge. But at the same time, I need to figure out a solution for that, right? So maybe if I had, for example, if I had a wall over here, maybe they won't charge anymore. But yeah, this is something I have to see. Or maybe I just need more structures. So maybe if I build structures behind here, maybe, right? But for now, if you want to be extra safe, right, just build this over here, right? Just build the walls all surrounded over here, and you should be fine with the smashers, right? But yeah, I have to test which one would work, right? Which wall is going to be the one to work. Okay, so again, I'm going to start testing this more to figure out what's the real cause of the smasher charging, and then having the mini bosses dance again, because we really like those mini boss dancing. Okay, all right, so let's move on to over here. So on the pit, right, there's also, you have to keep in mind about flinger spot. And this is one of the flinger spots I got, which is so rare. It's extremely rare for it to happen, but it did happen. And they were standing right on the edge over here, and they was able to fling. So I thought maybe if I put a floor over here with a quarter piece, and then they won't be in the corner anymore. But yeah, this is just one of my thoughts. Maybe it'll work, I'm not sure. Because it's so rare, I'll have to keep on testing it. And maybe I'll just keep it for now. And then these are also flinger spots over here. So these ones are flinger spots, and make sure you have them covered as usual. Alright, the bridge design. Bridge design is going good so far, right? The amplifier. Now, one thing I did notice from the new changes is that they, a little hustling likes to come over here and start whacking it. I don't know why, so I put a flame girl under there. Yeah, this is totally optional, but this is just so that they don't break structures on here, preventing many bosses stop dancing, etc. Right, so yeah, this is one of the things I've been observing, but maybe because it could be because I'm standing all the way over there somehow, and somehow it changed the height or something, or I don't know. I have no idea. So I just put that there as kind of like a band-aid, I guess. Alright. Bridge design, pretty much the same. Alright, pretty much the same. So I'll just go over this part over here. So this part, as you can see, with wall launchers everywhere. Now, one thing really nice about this patch with the bridge design is that I don't need to have high durability over here anymore. Because once a launch is successful, they'll just despawn, and once they despawn, they'll just go back towards the south, right? So they won't be looping back here anymore, which is nice. Right, so it's not using unnecessary traps. And I can just focus solely these wall launchers on the smashers and anything else. Alright, and I think I even removed some of these traps over here. I used to have some traps over there and just remove them because they're not necessary anymore. Alright, and then come up here and then just row of those anti-airs. I think block off has remained the same. The lobber shield has gone through some changes, right? So I used to have a lobber shield towards the south side, but because of the husk AI change, it seems like there's a lot less assassin husk trying to break through over here. So I'm able to use this block off. Before, in the previous patch, I was not able to use this block off, and I don't know what was the reasoning, right? Other than some assassin husk changing so that there's way less assassin husk coming over here, and then I can just use this. Under in here in this box, this is just for husk phasing. That could potentially happen. And this is for husk phasing yet again. That could potentially happen. Yeah, pretty much everything here has been exactly the same as the previous patch, right? So you don't have to worry too much. Just keep in mind that you should be chain launching things into the lava like that at the beginning, and then go ahead and proceed to launch more things into the lava over here, right? Now, if you don't use block off over here for those launchers, just make sure that this wall launcher is 0 impact and this floor launcher is 1 impact, so that they'll never come on the other side. And then these are just 2 times reload, 3 times durability, and the tars. So as you can see, because of this particular block off, I was able to save a lot of structures on the whoops, rip. Alright, so yeah, everything over here on the bridge, most of it's remained the same, but there's been some tile savings, which is nice, right? Because I've been using a lot more tiles on everything else, so yeah. Alright, so let's continue on. Now, this particular hill design on the west is 100% optional. This is just for testing purposes. If you use the previous design, you're probably going to be saving structures, right? But yeah, what ends up happening is that if I had floor launchers over here, so I think I had floor launchers over here, and they'll launch them up here. Now, if you launch them all the way over here, right, or down here, they'll just despawn and respawn, right? For this hill design, because there's 2 different sides to attack from, the durability usage shouldn't be too much of an issue as long as you have, of course, max trap durability, right? Now, with that being said, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but this is just for testing yet again, right? So I'm going to have a launch and husk, right? So these 2 wall launchers and those wall launchers with wall lights, there's going to be launch and husk over here, down here, and then all the husks are going to get stuck down here, right? All of them. And this is pretty much the goal. They get the husk stacked down here with the, again, the sand walls, 0 reload, 0 effect duration, and then, yep, and then no husk should be spawning, or extremely low husk should be spawning, right? In fact, I might even change this wall launcher to higher durability, just because I could. Because there's still little husks that are going to be coming. If they do come, this is going to be the first launcher they're going to meet, right? And then once they launch, and then the reload timer should be good enough. I might even actually make it a double reload just in case. Yeah, let's make it double reload. And then I'll just go ahead and upgrade that. But yeah, there's also been some, oh, I should upgrade that. There's also been some changes to the lobber shield, but it's primarily just for these spots over here. Right, so if you have these, if they're standing over here, just make sure you're covering the lobber shield for that area, and also for this area. And I think you should be good. I think this is also covered. And then, yep, everything here is covered. Now, one thing I didn't like with this particular new thing is that I have the floor launchers over here. I think this is nothing new. But then also, this is for the husk phasing through the husk phasing, right? So this is kind of a double husk phase, where a husk phase would over here, right? And then this floor launchers should launch them back. And then if they phase through the other wall, which they can do, I have the flame grills just to zap them, right? And what's nice about the flame grills is that they'll do the damage, right, exactly as this said, and it'll tick an additional 7 times for 25% damage each, which each can individually crit. So pretty much when you activate a flame grill, it's always guaranteed to 100% kill any possible assassin husk, right? Unlike the what was it called, the retractables, right? So that's why I use the flame grills, despite having a 12-second reload, but that's alright. Just need it to one zap. I don't even care if it has 30-second reload, to be honest. At least for this particular situation. But anyway, but yeah, I think that's it for the hill. At least for the west side. Let me upgrade that. Now, this amplifier design has gone through a little bit of changes. Right? I still want them to dance over here. Right? And I think one thing I did add is over here, right? So this slant, and I think this slant would prevent them from the smasher from charging. Right, but I have to check that. But I also added this wall over here on the roof, and I think this might actually help too, because I did notice some people were telling me that, hey, the smasher should start charging on the slant. I'm like, oh, well, that's terrible. I didn't need to. So I think so far this has been the solution for me, is using this slant and using that wall, but I'm not sure which one's really the one that's working, because it's kind of a somewhat rare case. Alright, but I think everything else in here should be the same. Okay. Excuse me. Now, I am also going to do this over here. Alright, so the hill west is something interesting, you could say. Right? So the hill west, it's pretty much the exact same design, except that I don't have that, because before I had like these slants, and then I had the wall, and then I had this area over here all open. So this is actually kind of a somewhat cheaper option than the previous design, but we're gonna have all sound walls all the way across over here, right? Same sound walls, right? Same sound walls, right? All the way across, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. And they're all going to get stuck down here, so it's pretty amusing to see them all get stuck over here, right? And then there's not using any straps, and then it's just like the smasher using them. So yeah, pretty awesome. Now, I did have one case where they destroyed this wall. So let me see. It was this wall they destroyed, and one of the assassin husks. This is actually for a really odd case where they were being attacked from the west, right? So it was hill west, and they were being attacked from there. And then somehow Assassin Husk made it all the way over here and then broke that wall. It was really weird. I don't know why. Maybe it was a rare case, but I have to keep on testing it. If it seems to be an occurrence that is really common, maybe I'll have to build something over here. So I'm not 100% certain yet, right? So I have to see, I have to observe it a little bit more. If the hill west gets attacked at wave 19, and observe that spot, alright, for my camping spot. Because it's all relative to where you camp, right? So if you're camping somewhere different, maybe it's a different case for you. Alright. Now I changed this. This used to be a damage build, right? And I changed it back to the design of my video, right? Pretty much I try to copy it word for word. But I might have made a mistake somewhere, right? But I'll tell you where. So basically, the exact same design. I don't have a recycling system over here, Right, instead, I'm going to use the same kind of principles where I'm going to be launching the husk over towards the east, and when they get launched towards the east, these sound walls will get the husk stuck. And then pretty much the only thing I'll be using those wall launchers over there will be the smashers, right? Whereas all the propane dudes were going to be stuck over here. Alright, so that's pretty much what's nice about those sound walls. I think everything else has been pretty much the same in terms of this design, right? I did mention tile savings in one of my pictures. Alright, so yeah, there is that. Now I think there is another thing I want to mention, which is, oh yeah, this also got reduced. So as you can see, I made this area even more efficient, right? So I changed the block off over here, and then I don't need the what's it called? I don't need the lumber shield anymore, which is nice, right? That's really nice. And then over here, I think I do need a little bit of lumber shield in this area, so that's okay. So just add that, and then lumber shield the rest for the lava area. Now this one, I need to check on Vixen's design, right? And I'll need to double check with Vixen with this, but it seems like my my lava is not dancing anymore, and I'm gonna have to check on the video again, my own video, to make sure what the heck's going on, because I don't know why it's not dancing. Because I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to put walls all the way across over here. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to put that here. Or you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna go ahead and double check. Hold on. Alright, let's check out Vixen's video over here.
Up here.
Wait a second.
This edited pyramid.
That wall. Ayya. I didn't have this wall. Ayya. Alright, so yeah, it looks like she had this wall and I didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that wall. Perhaps this may fix it, I don't know. So I guess I'll double check sometime after this. But I did want to release this video to ensure that you guys know exactly what I'm doing, because I should have posted a video a few days earlier, but it's just that I've been testing constantly to make sure I have a build's good enough where I can release to you guys, right? So this build is perfectly fine. The only thing I have to do is fix the mini boss dancing. I think watching my own video helps. So yeah. Alright, and there we go. We have that. Now let's go on to the valley amplifier. So you can see I made some changes over here. I just said these wall launchers are 3 times impact double reload with the healing. I'm not sure if they're necessary, but I have them there just in case. Alright, and then pretty much I'm going to try to path the husk over here, right? And these are the 5 times durability single reload wall launchers, and then have the triple impact double reloaders over here, right? And this wooden floor spike has health, and this one doesn't have health. I think this one has healing. So this one's health, and then this one's healing. Okay, so those are the only two. So 0, I think this one may be 0 impact. Double reload, yeah, I think so. And then just the, yeah, the ceiling drop traps all the way across. Okay. And then, yeah, I just go ahead and launch them out. I think maybe instead of this, I might go ahead and use the sound walls. So let me go ahead. I think I'll use this one, double reload sound wall. Alright, let's go ahead and put that on. There we go. And let's just go ahead and upgrade that. Alright. This is just if there's a propane over here, they'll get sound mold and then launch back, right? So they don't have propane in their hands anymore. Okay. I'm not sure if I would ever use something like a sound wall over here. Probably not. Why do I have a wall launcher here? I don't know. Why do I have a wall launcher there? So in here we have freeze traps. These are double reload, triple impact, freeze traps, right, with the effect duration. Right, so I think I should have it somewhere. Yep, these ones over here. And then sound wall on the first wall, and then broadside on the other wall. So what this sound wall is going to do, but this always gets broken. Yeah, this sound wall always gets broken. It could be maybe, maybe if I put this over here, they won't get broken anymore. Or like, yeah, I think maybe, because I think could be because of the mini boss coming in. Can they path up here? Yeah, I think they can. I think mini boss path here, and then path over here. I think it could be from the mini boss. I'm not sure. Yeah, but this wall always gets broken a lot, so I had to figure out what exactly the reason is. So maybe if it's from the mini boss, it could be, this could be a solution for that. If it's not the mini boss, it has the smasher phasing. Then yeah, I don't know what to do there. But yeah, this broadside is this broadside over here, double crit. Because those are the big bangers when it comes to killing the husks. And then, now this part I did a little bit something interesting over here. I think I may have mentioned it in my previous video, but because I'm doing this slant over here, this acts as extra layering, and then the mini boss can come back out. So yeah. Alright, and then once you come up here, and then this is going to be nuking with the dynamos. Wait a minute, where is this wall? Where is this wall dart? There was a wall dart supposed to be here. Huh. And this entire time I've been missing out potential damage. So yeah, the dynamos, wall darts all surround it. Right? And then timeout box, right, with the 4 times impact wall light, 4 times impact wall light, going back to the timeout box. And yeah. Then timeout box in here. Yeah, so this is like tons and tons of damage. Right? Even when I'm not on the constructor. And more often than not, this actually does work really well. Alright. So yeah. Now let's go on to this. This is an amplifier design I've been using for a long time, and it's working fine. This has been working 100% fine. Alright, and now actually, you know what, maybe let me just change this over here. I'll explain why I'm doing this, but it could be just a theory that I'm wrong, right? So, but yeah, I'm just going to change it up there. Okay, so we have that over here, and this is kind of like the valley design I'm using, right? It's kind of a weird design I'm doing, but basically I want to minimize the chances of the mini bosses from breaking things, and somehow this intricate block off is doing that. I don't even know how I thought about this, but you know, you can go ahead and take a look at it. Alright, this is just like, what? Yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking here, but yeah, somehow this is preventing the mini bosses from doing crap. But if you think of something better, let me know, because I honestly have no idea what the heck I'm doing here. But what it's doing is that there's enough block off to prevent the smashers from coming under here, because we can't put a floor over here. Right? At the same time, I want the block off in such a way which it doesn't mess with the mini bosses, and they'll still path over there. Alright, so like for example, I think one example is this wall, right? And this wall, I want this blocked off because I don't want the mini bosses pathing from here onto here, right? So that's one example that I don't want to happen. Okay. Okay, so with that in mind, we can move on. Yeah, where I'm camping it. So this is what I did. I just, what's it called? These friggin' tire traps over here, they pretty much just spam them all the way, and I think this is pretty much about the limit which they'll be really utilized. I think maybe you can go one more, but that's it. Now you don't have to use tire traps. I prefer my other build, to be honest, because it's more of a traditional kind of damage build, but the tire traps are actually working really good as well, so you can use either or. But if you're using the more traditional damage build, it's heavily encouraged that you use a constructor because of the healing husk, right? Because of the healer husk, she heals everything so quickly. So yeah, pretty much I'm going to be going over here, and then I'm just going to be going all the way across. Now, the camping spot, I'm just going to show you. I don't think it's much of a surprise, but it's pretty much looking over here, right? And I think looking over here, right? I think if I do over here, just looking all the way across like this, I think that should be okay with the little butt there. All right. This block off over here should be exactly the same. Now, technically, from a block off point of view, I actually don't need this wall, but I need this wall for the mini boss so they don't start beating on the wall when they're walking towards the north. This is healing trap just because a flinger might hit it. This block off, I switched my old block off to this block off. Well, whatever previous block off I had to the old block off, because this seems to be working better than the other one. So yeah, that's why I'm using this one. Alright. But I'm still having this half floor, and it seems like it does prevent phasing, but this one they might phase through over here, so this one I have a wall over here. Right, but yeah, I think this so far has been the best solution for the flinger phasing. But let me know if you know something cheaper, because yeah, this is kind of expensive for preventing husk phasing. Let's see, I think everything here has been pretty much the same. Lobber shield may have gone through some changes here and there, but pretty much should be the same, relatively speaking, right? And at least for the beach amplifier over here. So beach, so as you can see, there's certain things I've changed, right? One of them being the wall launchers. So I used to have wall launchers all the way over here. What ends up happening when you use wall launchers is that they'll despawn, right? So I just put wall spikes instead, or these wall lights, right? So wall spikes or wall lights, both of them are good. I still have this in here for the husk phasing. Alright, everything there has been pretty much the same. Now this is one of the most important changes for the beach amplifier. So the beach amplifier, when you get launched in here, right? So get launched in here, and then get launched all the way towards the north, right? Oh, hold on. I think I see a flaw in the design. I think I need to have a wall over here. And then, hold on. Here we go. Alright. Okay, so pretty much what is going to be happening when you launch husks into the pit, I'm going to land them over here. And this particular area is where they're going to be stuck on, right? And once they get stuck over here, they can't do anything. Okay, so, but one thing I totally forgot to mention about this. So one thing that's really important when it comes to this particular patch, right? So when the husks land over here, they despawn. However, if you block this off completely, this will not work. You need to make sure that there is an open pathway. So if you ensure that there's an open pathway, they will get stuck. If it's no open pathway and it's all like man-made block off, then they'll break the block off. So just make sure it's open in some way, shape, or form, so that they can still pass somewhere, either from behind over here or at the front, right? Just make sure they can pass somewhere. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, as long as the other pathway is not too long. I think this one might be too long, but I think this one's okay. I think the only exception which I was testing is the Devil North. That one seems to be, but I think that could be the case because of the propanes are pathing towards me instead. So I think it's because of the amplifier design I never had that issue. But I think that's the only exception when you're using that cheesy design. Alright, so yeah, make sure when you come over here, and then you have these over here, and these should be fine. Alright, and I think you might be able to use them on the ground level too. Right, I think you could use them on the ground level. So for example, if we, let's say, let me see. Yeah, right now I did this over here. But if I did them on the ground level, actually that would cause trouble with my design. I can't do it on the ground level, never mind. But yeah, for me, I can't do it on the ground level, but for you, if you're not using this kind of design, I think it's okay. The reason why I say this kind of design is because of the high roof, right? So you can see the roof on here is very high. It's very high. And if it's all the way from the ground, then this will be too high and they can start flinging, right? Or start lobbing. So it's really critical that I don't have it so low. Right, now this design, it's similar over here. Launch them in here, chain launch them towards the north, really good. Right, this is very good. And this would launch them, so I think I used to launch them towards this northeast, and then this time just launch them straight north, over here. Right, based on this lobber design, because I can make it higher, right? Because I can make the lobber shield higher with the slants, then that could be easier to build, right? So that's what I did. And this is what I did over here. Now this is something kind of weird. It is this patch exclusive. I don't know what's the reasoning behind it. But what ended up happening is the smashers, for some reason, when they came up over here, right? And they come over here, tar pit, they didn't get launched into the pit. I don't know why they didn't get launched into the pit from over here, right? And it's really common. And even over here, they didn't get launched in the pit from here, the wall lights. But this is only the case when I was using 2 tar pits over here. But as soon as I changed this floor launcher to, this tar pit to a floor launcher, and it seemed to be okay. So, yeah, ooh, I can also remove this. I don't need these, over here. And then I'm gonna put these over here. So these are just some high damage ceiling zappers, which should work up to, wave 21. At least for solo without supercharged traps, which would kill the little guys. But yeah. Yeah, make sure that both of these are not tar pits. And I think the best one is for this floor launcher. Because the wall light and floor launcher, at least the floor launcher can launch husks in here, right? And the wall light can at least deal with the smasher. So I think similar to the pit design, right? Where I have the tar pit and then this floor launcher wall light. I think that kind of design is really good. Alright, and so far this has been working for me for all my runs, and so far I haven't had a problem with these smashers since I did these changes, but before it was a nightmare. I always had this problem. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of exploration. Now, another thing to keep in mind, this is one of the changes I've done, because some people did tell me that, hey, there's a rare spawn that destroys this. I did this change over here, and so far it's been working good, but I haven't even experienced the rare spawn. So. And these over here I have removed, so these two, this actually gets destroyed by a spawn. This one is not necessary, just this one is okay. And this block off is shown there, and remove that particular block off over there. Lots of tile savings, right? Oh, I didn't say that much. I don't have much structures left. I think I used to have a slant over here, but this actually can be destroyed by a lava bomb. So I removed that and I placed it over here. And I think this should be okay. Because of that, I don't have a roof over here, right? So you can see that there is a pathway for this to connect up here, which then eventually gets to the end. So because of that, I have put these 2 halves. And this should be okay. This is lobber shield over here. But yeah, if you're really unsure how to build this lobber shield, right? If you're really unsure, you can just kind of feel it in the sense, right? Just kind of know where they're gonna fling from, right? The beach, this is kind of like the beach if you want a screenshot or whatever, you know, this is how I designed it. But you kind of get a feel of where they're gonna fling, right? Because 10 tiles, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Yeah, so this is about the distance that they can fling from, right? And then just make sure that we can prevent them from flinging, right? So that would definitely be just enough, right? Where they'll prevent them from flinging, and then you have to make sure, hey, they can also fling from here too. And yep, this also prevents them from flinging as well, right? And I might be able to remove some of these, but I think I tried that in the past and it didn't work. Alright, so yeah, you got to keep all those things in mind. and then they can fling from here, right? So, or, like, just from here alone they can fling, yes, but from here they can fling, they can fling. Now, even thinking about here, maybe this one might be okay to remove. Maybe. I'll try removing that. Yeah, they can fling from here, they can fling from here, they can fling from here, and all this, of course, they can fling. They can fling from here, they can fling from here, here, fling, 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 and then fling, right? So all of this they can fling from. So you just gotta keep in mind about where they can fling from, and then just build the lava shield accordingly. Alright, let me just go back to that mark, because I think that could remove that, but we'll check in the next run. Okay, now let's move on. Alright, so I think the beach should be covered. Alright, everything should be relatively the same, right? The block off, if you want to go over that, pretty much the same as usual, like as on my other videos. Right, just ensure that whenever you do this block off, it's not connecting like something up here, right? So it's not doing this, right? Which would make a little shortcut. And yeah, just ensure you're not doing that. All right. Okay, so. Oh my goodness. The Wamp amplifier. So this is the last amplifier. Now this Wamp amplifier, like the beach amplifier, this is needed in my opinion to prevent these husk from constantly spawning, right? Because they'll always despawn, right? The beach is kind of a problem. For the valley, it's not really much of a problem, right? But yeah, this Wamp amplifier, this is kind of optional, but this is kind of, I think, really a nice addition, right? So this really nice addition is going to use one of these special launchers again. And this is the special launcher. 3 times impact, 3 times durability, no reload, right? And this special launcher, what it's going to do is that it's going to launch them just far enough so that it will reach this sound wall. Because this sound wall can get destroyed by a spawn. But this sound wall doesn't seem to be destroyed by a spawn. But it needs to be 3 times impact minimum to be over here. 4 times impact works 100%, right? But I think 3 times should work just enough, right? But yeah, I'll have to do more testing with 3 times impact. But this is one of those special wall launchers that I'm talking about, right? So I need a high durability, high impact, but as a consequence, no reload. But it's not necessarily a consequence because it's going to use less. It's going to last longer anyway, right? Which I need it to last long. Alright, I think this floor, I might actually go ahead and use higher durability. I think it really needs it, just in case, right? But as a result, because I'm launching husk all the way towards the east, right, over here, and also over here with these sound walls, and the lava bomb, by the way, does not actually hit this area. So this area, the lava bomb doesn't hit, and same with this area, right? So this is very critical to note. However, the lava bomb does hit this area, so yeah, I think actually because of that, I might just have to. I'll have to do some testing, but thinking maybe I could do something like this, where I can put a wall over here. So let me put this over here. Right, so what I'm going to try to test is that if I put a wall over here, assuming that this wall doesn't break the build somehow. So if I put a wall over here, and then I put a wall launcher, right? So I put a wall launcher, I think I might even have to do 5 times impact. 5 times impact to get them all the way over here. And then, if this successfully gets them over here, and then I can do this sound walls trap. Maybe, I'll try it out. I'll see if I can do that so I can get them all the way over here on this tile, and then sound wall trap them. But it could be the case where one of these walls would break the Wamp because of how delicate the Wamp is when you're adding walls like this, right? So I'm going to have to test it out and see if this breaks the build anyway. But yeah, this is one of the ideas where I'm going to have to do. Alright, because this area can't get hit by a lava bomb. Alright. And yeah, let me just upgrade these. So I have upgraded these walls. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea over there, what I'm having. But again, I have to test it out to see if this doesn't break anything, right? But if you want to, just leave it out and let me just test it. All right. So, and then there's going to be some other really happy things too, right? So I'm pretty much want to make as many saddles as I can every corner that could possibly have a husk over, right? So this wall launcher over here, this one is going to have one impact, right? So I think I'm going to use the one. Let me show where that one impact wall launcher is, if I can find it. There it is. One impact, one reload, 4 times durability, and this is going to launch them all the way over into here, right? Because it seems like 0 impact might actually land them in this area over here, right? So I need that one extra impact to launch them over here. Yeah, I think, and the reason why I have these hot walls so high up here, I think it's because of the slings. They might actually not be necessary though. So I'm going to try to remove them to see what happens. Okay, and this walleye over here is 0 impact, and double reload. Alright, so this is over here. Same walleye as usual. Now I used to have a walleye over here, but it seems like I had a problem one time where a riot husk would come under here and then start hitting on here. So I removed it just for that purpose, right? And also it doesn't really serve much of a purpose anyway, because ultimately I want the husk to come over on these walls over here and these walls. Alright, so that's kind of like the goal. Alright. And this floor launcher is going to be the same floor launcher I used previously, which is going to be the single reload, single impact, 4 times durability, right? So flat floor, and then slant all the way over here, right? Slant all the way over here, and then launch them towards the north, right? So I'm going to doing is it's either going to land either here, or it's going to land them on the other side here, right? On this other side of the sand wall. In either case, if they actually land on top of here, right? So suppose in the case where they actually land on top, which can happen, the sandwall will still dance them, right? So this is really nice, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now we have the finale over here at the end, right? So double reload, double reload, triple impact wall launchers with the tar pits, right? And then when they launch them over here, they either going to launch them on top of the sand walls, which they'll still dance, or they'll just land on here, or they'll land because of the collisions with these walls. They'll land somewhere random, right? But hopefully they can land on here. If they do land under here, they'll start dancing and do that thing, right? Now I used to have a design, right? So keep in mind this design has been working for me 100%, right? So I used to have a design which was something like this, right? And I used to drop them over here, right? And that still works. And I tried this new design. This actually is also working too. So I've been using this one, and this one's been working perfectly fine, which is good. Exactly what I like to hear. All right. So yeah, just have sound walls on each corner, and then the smasher just come out of it. I think under here or under here, right? I can't remember, but it seems to be working so far really good. All right. I think the block off and lobber shield has remained exactly the same, unchanged basically. I think I used to have a chain launching over here. I removed that, and instead at the very last gas trap, sorry, at the very last tar pit, I'm just going to put a gas trap. And this is just for in the event that wave 13, the gas trap will kill the little husk that follow the mini boss, right? So that's pretty much the ultimate goal of that. Now with that in mind, I think we have reached the end of the Twine endurance base, right? I think that includes everything. Now keep in mind that I am going to be doing a lot more testing, right? It's just that I think the main thing I need to test overall is Vixen's little fix over there with the wall. I didn't really see that somehow. This amplifier design, I don't know what happened with the ridge. Something changed with the ridge, and I don't know what's the reasoning behind it, but I have to test it to have a design which both dances the mini bosses and prevents the smasher from charging. I need an amp design that does both of those. I'm going to need to test the lava over here, right? So, sorry, the pit. So the pit to ensure that this over here does not activate no matter where the husk paths, right? Assuming that I'm standing over here on that corner, right? Assuming I'm standing over there. Alright, and I think the double amplifier is another thing I want to test to ensure that area is actually working properly. Last time I checked with the double amplifier, I think in the later runs, I think I had to wait. I think I checked towards the end, like wave 29. This had like 6 usages, right? Which is kind of scary because 6 usages. It could be possible that one of them made it over here, right? It seemed like this one didn't have any. So yeah, I'm gonna have to test the devil a little bit more, and devil west as well. Devil west is actually pretty interesting because most of the husks would get stuck in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to test this area over here because you can see this. There is no lava bomb shift. This is definitely gonna have a bomb break something if you go in this area. Off chance that it could be in this area, but I'd say it's not likely. Yeah, I think that should be it. The pit, I have to test that, and also maybe if I can figure out a mini boss dancing design such that it would always work. That would be really nice, because otherwise I'm gonna just have to spam lots more structures, right? Lots and lots more structures. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to spam a lot more structures somehow. The hill amplifier, something I need to test too, is the amp design, because I had a wave 21 over here, right? I had a wave 21 which destroyed tons of things on the south side, and I wasn't really sure why, right? And I think maybe because of this, maybe I didn't have sufficient lava shield, so I added this little bit extra lava shield in there, maybe because they were targeting like that or something. So yeah, I'm gonna have to test it out and see, because I don't know what was the cause of wave 21 to have so many lavas going crazy, because I wasn't watching because I was AFK. Lava, I need to test that. Valley's working pretty good. The only thing I could think about is making it cheaper. Beach, I'm gonna, oh yeah, there's also that thing too. So I was thinking the Wamp amplifier, maybe there was a case which I had, because in the Wamp amplifier there's a case where I didn't have mini boss dancing. It has actually been kind of more common now, and I think could be because I didn't have that gas trap, which I didn't test with that gas trap, or it could be maybe because they're coming in from behind. Maybe they're coming in from behind, and these walls were not doing it. So I was thinking maybe push them back a little bit. So I'm gonna have to see exactly what happened, because they're not dancing for me. But for other people that said they're dancing, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I need to get better at building, right? So the bridge, oh yeah, beach. This is another thing too, what you need to test. So for some reason on the beach amplifier, this no longer dances the mini boss. I don't know what's the reasoning behind it. When I did this change, I think I had these walls over here too. Yeah, but somehow it did a change in here. It is no longer dancing the mini bosses, and I can't think of a reasoning why. So maybe I'm gonna have to see. Maybe I can do something like this. Maybe, and that could very well prevent them from doing so. I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see. I'm gonna have to play around with it. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this video. And next video, I am not sure which build I'm gonna be doing, right? Because there's a lot of changes I did with all my builds, as you can witness, right? But perhaps maybe I can go ahead and do that Devil West video, right? Which is the remaining video. But yeah, even I think a lot of my other videos are going to be kind of obsolete because of this update, right? So I'm going to have to make changes accordingly with that. So I think the most important one, Devil West, because I don't have a video on that. The Ridge Amplifier, which I'm going to redo a video for. The Hill, maybe I have to redo it. The, let's see, Pit, I think I may have to redo it, but I think I had to do lots of testing on the pit anyway. Devil West has been there for ages, so I can kind of just go ahead and pop that out, I guess. But yeah, Ridge is definitely one thing I'm going to have to test a lot on, because I'm not sure about. At the same time, this needs to be updated too. Beach is another one. Pits, yeah. Oh boy, I think the only one that's like kind of like okay is this one over here. Assuming the mini boss dancing works, but yeah. Anyway, I think that'll be it for this video. And as always, have fun building.